years. Okay. I had some time in my belt already.
Gotcha, good.
I knew what trading was. I knew what losing was, which was more important because risk management is the key. And if you don't know how to lose, then you're never gonna learn how to win.
Welcome back, everybody, to Be the Trader. Today is gonna be a fun day because I have Jose Ramirez here, AKA Yo Ramirez on Twitter. He is a former Air Force individual who also taught himself trading by working underneath jets, which is insane. I went to prop trading and also then left and became his own retail trader, managed his own money successfully. And today, Jose here is going to share his whole story. And instead of me just going all the way through it on my own, Jose, so welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, my brother.
Absolutely, man. You. Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
So, absolutely, man. I was so excited to bring you on the show. I saw you talked on another show before, and I was like, you know what? I got to bring this guy on. I got to learn more about his story. And then hanging out with you, immediately felt a connection. So I love it, man.
Absolutely.
But I'd love to know, you know, what got the trading bug? Like, what happened? What bit you to get you into trading?
What bit me to get me into trading? Obviously, I don't know, but I didn't know about trading. I didn't know what a stock market was. Up until one day, 2014, I met a guy who had some money in stocks. He didn't know what to do with it because it was hereditary to him. It was given up to him by his grandfather. And we just decided to buy a bunch of books and learn. Buy books, buy some DVDs. And it took us a couple tries. We lost a bunch of money, but we knew that because we were losing, somebody else was making that money. We just needed the education. We needed to learn how to be on that side. And here I am.
Dude, but like, tell people, because I know I said that you were in the military, and thank you for your service, brother.
Appreciate it.
But how did, like, when did it bite you, like the bug? Like, when did you discover trading? I mean, you said for some other dude, but like, can you tell us that story?
For me, of course. So I just knew that I didn't want to keep working forever. Being in the military, I missed a lot of time with my kids, and I was just waiting for the day for my contract to finish so that I can get out and I can go enjoy my life. I also knew that leaving the military, I was going to have to go find a job, and it would still be in the same cycle. So I wanted to go another route. I thought maybe real estate, but I'm not really a good people person. So investing. And I found out investing, it would take me a couple years just to make a couple $100s. And then I came across day trading. But while I was deployed, when I was studying, I had a very short time to myself. I was working 12-hour shifts, so I figured at work, I can try to squeeze in some time to start learning how to day trade. So my job was to prep the jet, launch it up into the air, the jets go do what they do. And while my jet was in the air, I'll go find another jet where I can get some shade, because obviously I'm up in the desert and it's 120 degrees. And that's where I was able to keep cool. I was sitting under a jet while reading my book and learning how to day trade.
That's nuts, man. And was it like easy for you at all? Like, I know you say you lost some money at first. You were doing it with a buddy of yours who was, I'm guessing, was at the military, right? Who inherited some money. So how long did it take you to figure out like what worked for you? Like, did it take a while? Was it pretty easy?
So besides even trading itself, learning how to trade was extremely difficult for me because I would read a page and not understand anything. I would have to read that same page 5 times until it finally clicked to me. But I still didn't know the terms. I didn't understand it. That's where learning from other traders was my scapegoat. That's where I was able to learn by buying those DVDs, studying those patterns. And no, it didn't happen right away. Maybe 2 years of straight up losing. 2-3 years of straight up losing, maybe blowing like $100,000 in as far as accounts, which to some people is not a lot, to some people is everything. To me, it was everything I had. And there I am, back broke. I ended up going back to a $2,000 account with Trade Zero, and I took it from there. I was still undercapitalized, even though I was above PDT at some point. That's where prop firm came in, and I decided to go that route.
Hey, we wouldn't be able to do these face-to-face interviews if it wasn't for our sponsor, Cobra Trading. So if you can just give them a few seconds of your time, we'd really appreciate it. Cobra Trading is the go-to broker for day traders and short sellers. And I'm not the only one saying this. In fact, Benzinga awarded Cobra Trading as the go-to broker for short selling. They have a heavy focus on direct market access order routing, so you have the fastest execution. They have some of the best locate prices and availability. They also have amazing customer service. I've experienced many different brokers, and it's why I use them every single day and why I'm proud to have them as our sponsor. Sign up now by clicking the Be the Trader referral link below and earn 1 free month of software with Cobra and 25% off all commissions. Now let's get back to the show. But going towards that route, you said, you lost some money, as everyone does when they start trading, especially if you really trade, you're gonna lose money, right? You lost some money and then you had to come back down to a smaller account, right? Going to a prop firm, was that just something that just that's my next step? Or did you kind of run into it? Did you kind of were you looking for something and just found that? Did you already know that existed?
Honestly, I didn't even know what a prop firm was. I was day trading my own retail account, losing money. I knew there were bigger people out there making a lot of money. I actually came across a trader on Twitter, or was it Instagram? I came across a trader on Instagram. I saw his pictures. On Twitter, people don't post many pictures, but on Instagram, all you do is post pictures. And this guy was posting a bunch of pictures of charts, the big computers, 10 monitors. So I hit him up on a DM. I just slid in there, you know what I mean? So he told me, I'm a prop trader. And then I didn't even ask him. I just went on Google. What is a prop trader? And that's where I figured prop trading, man.
Dude, and so you find out what it is. I'm glad you said you Googled it, because a lot of people won't even utilize that. They'll ask a simple question.
Yeah.
But how did you find out though, or how'd you get in next? You find out what it is, right? Was it just okay, here's what a prop trader is. Next day I apply, I'm in.
No, I didn't apply like that. I in the DM conversation, I asked Stanley, who's from 7 Points, hey man, can you give me a tour of your office? And he's like, do you want a tour or do you want a job? And I'm like, yeah, I want that. So he's like, yeah, come see me tomorrow. So I go see him, we met up, we clicked right away. And he told me, well, this is what we offer you, but you need to pass these tests. So I'm like, man, how do I pass these tests? And I bought the books that I needed. I took the training. I actually took the test 3 times. Again, I'm not very good at learning on my own. That's why online school was never it for me. And then I took it from there. It took me a couple tries to get in, finally got in, and I got my account.
So first off, you took the test 3 times. I love hearing that, right? Because it just shows the tenacity that you
Well, it's 2 tests, so I took each of them 3 times.
And that makes it even more, bro. That's crazy. And I'm saying this because there's so many people out there who might fail a test.
And gave up so
and they stop, bro. And then you took it 3 times for 1. And where most people would have been after 2, man, that's not gonna happen, that changed your life.
I was really going through a lot at that point. When I was taking my second exam, my older brother passed away. He committed suicide. And I was going through a lot of stress. I was like, I'm not even gonna freaking try anymore. This is not for me. I'm just gonna go back to fixing planes. And I don't know. You gotta keep living after stuff like that. You go through adversity, but you gotta grow from it. You can't just dig yourself up even deeper. So that's
I understand. Sorry about your brother, man. I have a younger brother, and I couldn't imagine. So that on top of trying to learn something that's as difficult as trading is very difficult for anybody,
for sure.
Let alone just by itself. I want to know, were you somewhat consistent when you applied to the prop firm? And because I know there's people out there, right? Whether they're thinking this, they're asking themselves, well, I'm not consistent right now, so I can't even approach. Or I am, is that the requirement? So what was it like? Do you need to have certain criteria?
I don't know what they do right now.
Okay, yeah.
But like I said, I met Stan, we clicked, he liked me, he gave me a chance. Whether I was consistent or not, I don't really remember. But I was making maybe 200, 500 a day, maybe 100, averaging $200 maybe. He said, you have a good strategy. I think we can work with you and we can better your strategy. And that's what I like. They gave me a chance.
So you already had results, somewhat of results to show him.
I had some strategies. Okay. I had some time in my belt already.
Gotcha, good.
I knew what trading was. I knew what losing was, which was more important because risk management is the key. And if you don't know how to lose, then you're never gonna learn how to win.
100%. And I want to go down that road in a minute. Now, what I want people to understand is that you had a track record, right? You can't just apply somewhere and like have no, like you put effort in,
Yeah.
right? Even though you didn't know what you were doing at the time, you were putting effort. I want to learn this, and you pursued it. So props off to you on that, man. Now, when you joined, right? What, like, was it easy for you then? Like, was it, or was it still like, you know, it was a process?
Honestly, it kind of got a little harder because seeing these successful traders trade all the time, you feel like you need to trade all the time. Until I actually spoke with the risk management team, who just basically broke it down to me like, you need to wait for your setup, man. Like, you see us clicking buttons, but it's because we've been waiting for weeks for this setup. And then I was like, wow, okay.
That hits you different.
Yeah.
Where they're like, because you think you're sitting down there clicking buttons, it's like right now, right now, right now.
Yeah.
But these are people who have been planning trades.
Yeah.
So when you've discovered that and you talk to your risk management, was it easy for you to just be like, okay, well then, you know, tomorrow I'm not trading unless it's there? Like, was it like pretty simple?
No,
there?
I still kept making mistakes.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep making a bunch of mistakes. Every day you're gonna make a mistake and you're gonna learn from it. The trick is it's not even avoid repeating them, it's work on how to make it less. Because you're gonna keep making mistakes. Just bring it down a notch. Less mistakes.
Can you give an example of like what's a mistake that you made that you've over time made it less and less and less? Like when you talk about that?
I was talking to a buddy of mine. My biggest mistake was smacking lows, looking for another leg down. And I was notorious for that. I would hit lows and then get swiped up, stopped out. Didn't hit the top because I'm thinking it's gonna keep going, then it slams back down and there I am, hitting lows again, swiped up, getting stopped out. So it came a point in time where I saw the lows, I looked left, I identified that it is the low, I would not take the trade. I don't take the trade. I wait for the exhaustion.
Now, you said risk is like everything earlier. Can you explain what you mean by risk? Because, you know, some people might not really understand what you mean when you're like, you know, risk is so important.
Risk is important. So what is risk is what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's just speculating that something that you think is gonna work, but identifying what the loss could be before you even get in and just be able to stomach that loss. You gotta be able to take a loss that works for you, knowing that when you win, it'll be 2, 3, 4 times that loss.
When you take those losses though, I mean, was it like just easy to take losses for you? Like, or is it something that you kind of have to like learn to accept?
To be honest, I think I became comfortable taking losses.
Okay.
Because I took it so much.
Yeah.
And I didn't die.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so it's like, I could take another loss. But you have to know that when you win, it's gonna work out for you. If not, then you're just gonna be a consistently losing trader.
So going back to the prop firm, did you end up like developing your strategy and really getting all your confidence during that time and then decide to leave, or like how did that all pan out?
I learned maybe 2 or 3 normal strategies, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But it was just me. I told you before, I record my screen, I record myself. That's where it really clicked for me, when I was able to identify my mistakes. Because anybody can tell you their mistakes, but what are your mistakes? Like, I was like, okay, this guy makes those mistakes and he doesn't do it again, and then I go trade and I make the same mistakes, I make more mistakes, I try to do what they're doing. Whatever they're doing is irrelevant to you. You gotta figure out what's you.
Yeah, I love that you said that, man, because you're just showing how unique trading is.
Yeah.
And like strategies can be similar, like, you know, big picture ideas, we can have a similar idea, but like how you execute is gonna be different from someone else because of your mannerisms, what works for you, what you can handle, what I can't handle, you know, so forth.
Yeah.
And so you make rules that really cater to your personality.
Yeah.
Is there a specific rule that you feel like is universal though? Like for a lot of people that you feel like people can benefit from?
The problem with those rules is that it's very cliche, like, oh, don't add to a loser. And everybody knows not to add to a loser. But what if in this case I'm scaling in? But then you keep thinking in your head, oh, I'm scaling, and you're adding to a loser. Then.
Wait, so would you say if you're planning it out ahead of time, then it's a little different in that case then?
Well, it's a whole different trade. It's a whole different strategy. Like if you're scaling for a specific number on the chart, then that's one trade. But if you're in a trade, your stop's supposed to be hit, but you don't take that stop. You actually just keep adding, looking for the exhaustion, and you're the one getting exhausted.
Yeah. You know, I'm thinking about it right now. And the whole reason you left the military is because you wanted to have more time with family, right? You wanted to have more time instead of always being deployed.
Exactly.
And then you pursue trading, which takes up a lot of time to at least learn it, right?
Course, yeah.
So where are you at now? Like, how do you balance that family life? Because now you're doing it for yourself, right? Is there things you've learned through this journey where certain things are more important to you now or whatever?
Of course. Yeah, I'm at that point where I'm able to identify what times of the day I want to be trading, what benefits me the most. And that comes from tracking my personal experience in trade. Not tracking trades as far as Excel, but looking back at my recordings, looking back at my trader view, my stats, where is it that I start losing money? And I avoid that. Again, going back to avoiding the mistakes, just bringing it down some. I'm at the point where I'll trade 2 hours, leave, go to the gym, take my kids to school or walk the dog. I'm comfortable with that. Come back. If there's nothing there, I won't even sit there. I'll have a standing desk where I'll just look at it. If I see it, I like it, I'll sit down. If not, I'll just walk right back out my office.
You know, you brought up recording, and we talked about it off camera,
Yeah.
right? But for those who are like probably like, what do you mean recording? Like, you're recording yourself trading, and when you review that, what is that like? Are you rushing the whole thing, or are you like narrowing on certain things? Like, what are you doing?
So when I'm recording on OBS Studio, I can record my screen. I can slow down the tape. When I'm rewatching, I can slow down the tape. And when I'm recording myself, I'm looking at my emotions to see how I feel whenever these things happen. Like, I go back on the chart. I already know what the chart did. The day's over. I know when the stock topped out. I go back in the recording. How did the tape react to that top out? How did I react to that top out? Was I in? Was I stuck? Was I making money? Was I scaling in? And I just write everything down. And then I can go back to on those days like, oh, this day I had a really big loss. Let's go back and see what was it I did wrong. Oh, this day I had a really big win. Let's go back and see how I can repeat that.
Anything surprise you when you went back and watched that kind of like really surprised you?
Something my wife always tells me, I realize I'm a very angry man. You know, I'm very angry. Even when I'm losing. I mean, even when I'm winning.
Okay,
I'm angry because I could be making more. And you learn from yourself. Unless you're there in the situation where you're looking at yourself, you wouldn't know that you're making these mistakes. So it's to the point where I get angry, but I don't react as bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Talk about that real quick because yeah, you get angry, but like, what are you like doing? Like, was it just like I get angry? Okay, cool. I know that now.
It's like
what
you gotta be mindful of knowing that you're angry.
Because what were you doing before you knew you were getting angry? When you
I was banging on the desk. I was shutting down the computer.
Yep.
I was throwing F-bombs
And then when
at
you
the
win,
screen.
when you win,
It's just business.
Yeah.
So before I would get super excited, and then I'll size up too much. Your adrenaline comes up, and now you're overconfident. So now you want to size up, thinking this is it, and then you get swiped out.
Yes, and then the anger comes back too. Yeah.
That was me.
No, yeah, I feel you. So I love that you said that because I've recorded my screen just a couple of times, and there's things that you notice that you weren't even thinking about looking for. You just kind of find it.
Yeah.
And yours is like, you're like, man, I noticed I was angry when I was good or not doing so well. And for me, it was like I noticed like I would like start to like say certain words. Like mine would be like, I don't know about this, and I'll take it anyway. You know? So it's cool that
That's
you can
funny
pick up
you say that because I've been there. Obviously, a lot of us have been there. Like, oh, this was really good. You start sexy talking the charts, like, oh, come on, baby, do this, give me this money, you know. And then that's when you get overconfident. So you gotta like try to find a medium where you're like neutral.
100%.
Yeah.
There's people right now who are in the military, right? For sure. And they're watching this and they're like, yo, like, I want to do something, right? If you could actually go back though and talk to yourself when you're under that plane reading that book and be like, hey, here's what you need to do, or here's how, like, just you had like 1 to 2 minutes to give yourself a piece of advice, what would you do to help you get to where you are today a little sooner?
Listen, Alex, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you have to go through the process. There's nothing I could tell myself to be better, because even if I try to tell myself the secret sauce, me then wouldn't get it. You have to go through these things where your body and your mind gets used to, you gotta take these steps. Like, you can't just skip. You gotta go through this.
Yes, you gotta kind of like go through the pain.
So me going back, I'd probably just tell you, don't give up. I'll tell me, don't give up. because 5 years from now, you're gonna be making a lot of money.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Now, what has been the hardest thing though for you when you found what you were good at, you were consistent, and something that was kind of holding you back from real growth? You know, like unless there was nothing for you, everyone's different, but does that bring up anything in your mind?
Yeah, me. I'm the one stopping myself from my own growth. I'm the one that taught to myself, like, all right, you can make this amount of money and that's it. But no, you can make 10 times that. And it's just you, bro, all the time. It's just you limiting yourself from your own excellence.
Is there anything, because you talk to a lot of people now and you meet a lot of traders and you've been blowing up in this Twitter game and everything. So is there certain things that you've noticed from newer traders who reach out to you and you're just like that you wish that they would get through their head that maybe they're confused about, whether it's risk, whether it's strategies, whether it's the head game, whatever it may be?
Yeah. I get a lot of messages like, man, what is a good strategy? I can't tell you what a good strategy is. I don't even know what a good strategy is. My strategies change all the time. I don't trade the same as I did 2 years ago. I don't trade the same as I did 6 months ago. 6 months from now, I'm not going to be trading the same way I'm trading right now. You just got to adapt to change.
But you hear these people who are like saying things about, you know, just learn one strategy, right? Just learn one strategy. So when you say like your strategies change, are you saying like it's completely different?
No, it doesn't completely change, but I got to tweak it. You know, like the market changes, so you got to change. If you stay the same, that's why you lose. And it's like that in everything you do in life.
I got you. Well, before we wrap this up, bro, I really want to understand if you could accomplish something within this year that you're working on right now, what would that be by the end of next year? Like, I would love to really work on this and get better at this.
So there's gonna come a time in my life when everybody asks for help, right? And if you can give help, then you fulfill yourself. It's fulfilling to help out. I want to be able to help as many people as I can, to the extent that I can go. Because like you said, I talk to a lot of people. I learn from different traders. I learn from traders who position size. I learn from scalpers. I learn from swing traders. And if I can bring that in to the people who actually want it, I'm not talking about no chat room and none of that stuff. I'll never do that stuff. But just help out as much as I can. And I'm real big in philanthropy. Like, I love giving back. I'm from a very poor country. I go back and I take suitcases full of stuff just for these kids. And when you see these faces, man.
That's dope, man. That's dope. I didn't even know that stuff. That's cool, man. I love hearing that about you. And you said something, I know it's time to wrap this up, but you said something about you meet all these traders, and you brought it back up that you're swing traders and just different styles, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's important to surround yourself around like all types of traders, or do you feel like you should focus on like one niche of traders?
Nah, 100%. 100%, because you don't know what's good for you until you do it. You don't know. Right now, I'm in a good, comfortable spot, but I don't like being comfortable. Now I want to level up. Now I want to swing trade. Now I want to trade options. I want to learn currencies, different things.
Yeah.
Branch out, learn as much as you can and find what works for you.
Perfect, perfect. Well, Jose, man, hey, it's been a pleasure bringing you on the show, brother.
Appreciate you, dog.
I know all of y'all are probably rewinding this or sharing with another trader friend of yours. So again, brother, thank you so much for having me here.
Appreciate you, dog.
You take care, brother.
Take care.
Thanks.